Tesla just crossed 10 million vehicles produced globally. Tesla's own announcement framed it as a milestone for every team involved. But the number itself isn't the real story. The real story is a manufacturing system competitors still haven't managed to copy, even when they buy the exact same machine. Tesla's gigapresses have grown from 6,000 tons for the Model Y to 9,000 tons for Cybertruck. And now there's talk of a proposed 50,000-ton system. The assumption is that bigger presses are what keep Tesla ahead. That assumption is wrong. Here's what actually gets missed when the conversation fixates on tonnage. Even if Tesla eventually builds a 50,000-ton die casting machine, the machine itself won't be the advantage. Any automaker with enough capital could order a bigger press as the technology matures. What they can't simply buy is the ability to turn that press into a production system that can stamp out millions of ultra-large structural castings with consistently low defect rates. That gap is where Tesla's real moat sits. Before gigacasting, the largest high-pressure die-cast structural component in a production car weighed around 11 kilograms. Tesla pushed that to nearly 100 kilograms, almost 9 times larger. And scaling further toward a hypothetical 50,000-ton system doesn't grow the engineering challenge by 20 or 50%. It grows exponentially. A press with that much clamping force would need to inject molten aluminum above 700 degrees Celsius into an enormous mold within milliseconds while holding pressure, temperature, and metal flow in near-perfect balance across the whole casting. Microscopic variation at that scale creates porosity, hot cracking, or internal stress that ruins the part entirely, which is why Tesla has poured resources into proprietary aluminum alloys built specifically for ultra-large structural castings. Alloys engineered for high strength immediately after casting while minimizing distortion and cracking as they cool. Without that materials work, jumping from today's 9,000-ton machines to a future 50,000-ton system would be essentially impossible. The press is just the hardware. The real breakthrough is the metallurgy that makes a machine that size conceivable at all. That's also the honest answer to why rivals can buy similar presses from suppliers like LK Technology or Idra and still fall short on efficiency. Money buys equipment, not years of proprietary alloy development, production data, and process optimization built up over time. A 50,000-ton press would also represent a philosophical shift, not just a bigger version of what exists today. Every gigacasting cycle right now still follows one rule: one mold, one injection, one structural underbody per cycle, now down to roughly 80 to 90 seconds. Far faster than stamping and welding hundreds of individual parts, but still fundamentally one in, one out. A press at 50,000 tons with a mold surface large enough to support multi-cavity tooling could cast 2, 4, or more complete vehicle underbodies in a single cycle. Think of it like the difference between a home oven baking one loaf at a time and an industrial oven baking dozens of identical loaves simultaneously in the same bake time. The process isn't faster, but the output per cycle multiplies. If that holds, the entire industry benchmark for manufacturing speed would need rewriting. Since Ford's moving assembly line in 1913, the standard metric has been vehicles completed per minute, with even today's most advanced factories landing around one vehicle every 45 to 60 seconds. A 4-cavity, 50,000-ton mold running a 90-second cycle would effectively cut that to roughly 22.5 seconds per underbody. That kind of throughput maps directly onto what Tesla needs for cybercab and future robo-taxi fleets, where success isn't about offering endless configuration options. It's about manufacturing millions of nearly identical platforms as cheaply as possible, casting multiple structures per cycle cuts, operating costs, equipment depreciation, and per-unit energy use in ways that would be genuinely difficult for competitors still building one underbody at a time to match. None of this is a simple hardware upgrade, though. Filling several enormous cavities before the aluminum starts to solidify would require extraordinarily high injection pressure, delivering hundreds of kilograms of molten metal per second, with engineers controlling air entrapment, alloy consistency, flow velocity, and cooling uniformity across every cavity. The kind of problem that demands some of the most advanced computational fluid dynamics simulation ever applied in automotive manufacturing. The bigger obstacle may be the factory itself. A press generating that much clamping force produces enormous impact and continuous vibration, likely requiring foundations reinforced with structural piles driven dozens of meters into bedrock, plus overhead cranes rated for dies weighing hundreds of tons, closed-loop cooling, and robotic handling operating at millisecond precision. And once a single cycle can produce multiple underbodies at once, every downstream step, paint, battery installation, final assembly, inspection, has to be redesigned, or the rest of the factory just becomes the new bottleneck. So why haven't competitors caught up if the machines themselves are purchasable? Because gigacasting was never just a machine. It's an integrated system built over years. Tesla designed its vehicles around gigacasting from the start, engineering chassis, battery pack, and crash structures as one unified architecture, while traditional automakers are still built around platforms with hundreds of stamped parts and thousands of welds that can't simply be swapped out for a casting machine. Tesla has also accumulated years of real production data: metal flow, cooling behavior, die wear, defect rates, feeding continuous improvements in yield and cycle time that can't be purchased, only earned through millions of production cycles. And Tesla ties materials, software, factory design, and robotics into one connected system, with simulation optimizing metal flow before production even starts, and AI-based quality control monitoring every casting in real time. Layer on Tesla's willingness to redesign manufacturing processes mid-production rather than waiting for a full model generation, and you get a company that treats manufacturing itself as core technology rather than a support function. Gigacasting also reshapes the economics around Tesla in ways that go beyond the factory floor. Traditional automakers are built on supplier networks decades in the making, involving hundreds of vendors and thousands of individual parts, and shifting to large structural castings forces a rethink of tooling investment, crash validation, repair strategy, and factory layout all at once. Not just a single production line. That's the actual moat. Not the tonnage number, but the alloy science, the accumulated process data, and the fully integrated system built around it, which is a far harder thing to replicate than ordering a bigger press. If Tesla does eventually build a 50,000-ton system, it'll be the materials, science, and factory engineering behind it, not the headline number, that determines whether it actually works. We'll be tracking it here the moment there's real evidence either way, so subscribe to the Tesla Breakdown if you want that update first.